Walk into an appliance store and count the choices. Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, JennAir, Amana, Roper, Estate, Gladiator. 8 labels, 8 personalities, 8 different price tags, but one corporation controls all of them, and many of the machines behind those badges share platforms, factories, components, and repair parts. You think you are comparing competitors, but sometimes you are comparing relatives wearing different shirts. That matters because the price difference between those relatives can be hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. Stay with me, because the most revealing clue is not printed on the badge or the giant sale card. It is hidden inside the model number, and once you know how to read it, appliance shopping becomes a completely different game. The corporation is Whirlpool Corporation, a manufacturing giant whose roots go back to 1911. But it did not create all 8 identities from scratch. It accumulated them. Whirlpool acquired KitchenAid in 1986. It bought the Roper brand in 1989. $7 billion acquisition of Maytag Corporation. That deal brought Maytag, JennAir, and Amana under the same corporate roof. Estate became Whirlpool's value-oriented label, while Gladiator targeted garages with heavy-looking cabinets, refrigerators, and freezers. So the showroom remained crowded with familiar names, but the ownership behind them narrowed dramatically. That matters because brands carry emotional memory. Maybe your parents owned a Maytag washer that survived for 22 years. Maybe your grandmother's KitchenAid mixer felt like farm equipment with a power cord. Maybe Amana still means a refrigerator built in Iowa by people who expected to repair it, not replace it. Picture that old appliance for a moment. The enamel is chipped near one corner. The dial has yellowed. One setting disappeared years ago because the lettering rubbed off. But every time you turn the knob, the machine starts. You are not only buying steel and plastic, you are buying the reputation attached to the word on the door. Corporations know that. The old Maytag repairman advertisements ran for decades. He sat alone because Maytag machines supposedly never broke. The joke was simple, but the message was powerful. Buy this machine and you may never need the man trained to fix it. That image became so valuable that Maytag could charge a premium before a customer touched a single control. But when Whirlpool bought Maytag, it acquired more than factories and patents. It acquired that trust. So even if the engineering changed, the emotional meaning of the badge remained available for sale. Here is where it gets sneaky. Modern appliance companies use shared platforms to reduce costs. A platform is the underlying engineering package, the cabinet dimensions, motor system, control architecture, suspension, pumps, wiring, and basic assembly process. Once that package exists, a manufacturer can spread its development cost across multiple products. Change the door, add a different control panel, alter a software setting, install thicker insulation, give the machine a new handle and a more dramatic cycle name. Suddenly one platform can appear under several brands at several prices. That does not mean every Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, JennAir, Amana, Roper, Estate, or Gladiator appliance is literally identical. They are not. Premium versions may have quieter insulation, stronger racks, additional sensors, different finishes, longer warranties, or genuinely upgraded components, but the family resemblance can be much stronger than the marketing suggests. Open 2 top-load washers from sister brands and you may find the same style of drive system underneath. Pull the lower panel from 2 dishwashers and you may see pumps, valves, and control boards from the same component family. Search a replacement part number and one humble little door switch may fit machines sold under 3 or 4 different badges. The badge says competition. The parts catalog says family reunion. Consider a basic top-load washer. One version may be marketed as dependable and hard-working. Another may be positioned as affordable and simple. A third may wear a polished console and promise advanced cleaning. But if all 3 share the same tub size, suspension layout, drive components, and chassis, the meaningful differences may be limited to cycles, trim, warranty coverage, and software. So paying $300 more does not automatically buy $300 more machine. Sometimes it buys a glass lid. Sometimes it buys a prettier knob. Sometimes it buys a cycle called something like Advanced Power Deep Clean Plus, which sounds as if the washer has enlisted in a special forces unit. But the water still enters through a valve, the tub still moves through the same mechanical system, and your socks remain mysteriously missing. Now ask a harder question. If the premium model and the value model share the component most likely to fail, which one is actually the better investment? Suppose both use the same drain pump. The premium washer costs $999, while the basic version costs $699. If that shared pump fails after the full warranty expires, the repair bill may be almost identical. The extra $300 may have improved the experience, but it did not necessarily reduce the risk. That distinction matters. Better to use is not always better built. Dishwashers make the strategy even easier to see. A manufacturer can use one basic tub and pump architecture across several price levels. The entry model gets simpler racks and louder operation. The middle model receives extra insulation and a stainless look handle. The premium model adds a third rack, more wash options, hidden controls, and interior lighting. Some of those upgrades are genuinely useful. Noise insulation can transform an open-plan kitchen. A machine rated several decibels quieter may disappear beneath conversation instead of sounding like rain inside a metal bucket. Better rack geometry can save you 10 minutes every day because bowls stop colliding and tall glasses finally fit. But other upgrades are cosmetic, so you need to know which kind you are paying for. Do not compare feature lists first. Compare construction first. Is the tub stainless steel or plastic? Is the heating method the same? Are the pump and filtration systems shared? Are the rack wheels replaceable? Or does one broken piece require an entire rack assembly? Can the filter be removed without tools? How long is the full warranty, not merely the limited warranty on one specific component? A 10-year warranty on a wash basket sounds impressive, but the basket is rarely the electronic part that leaves you staring at wet laundry on a Tuesday night. The receipt never lies. The giant warranty sticker sometimes speaks very selectively. Refrigerators follow the same logic, but the stakes rise because refrigerators run 24 hours a day. Different handles, shelves, and dispenser designs can disguise a common cabinet platform. But every additional dispenser, touchscreen, sensor, fan, valve, and ice maker creates another point where a small failure can interrupt a basic job. So the expensive version may look more advanced while becoming more complicated to keep alive. Imagine two refrigerators built around similar cooling hardware. One has a simple door, internal water, and a mechanical ice maker. The other has a screen, two ice types, exterior dispensing, separate temperature zones, and enough controls to launch a small satellite. The second refrigerator may be more convenient, but convenience has a parts list. A failed basic shelf is annoying. A failed control board can be expensive. A leaking dispenser line can damage the floor. A jammed ice system can turn the most advertised feature into the part you eventually stop using. So complexity should earn its place. If a feature solves a problem you face every day, it may be worth the risk. But if you use it twice before forgetting it exists, you bought another failure point disguised as progress. That is the corporate paradox. Manufacturing efficiency can lower costs, improve parts availability, and simplify repairs. Shared engineering is not automatically bad. In fact, a widely used platform can be easier to service because technicians recognize it. Diagnostic information is easier to find, and replacement parts are common. A proven platform may also be safer than a brand new flagship design. New technology looks exciting under showroom lights, but early buyers sometimes become unpaid product testers. An older architecture may be less glamorous, yet 5 years of service history can reveal exactly what breaks, what it costs, and whether the repair is worth doing. But the manufacturer's savings do not always reach you. If two machines share most of their mechanical DNA but one costs 40% more because it occupies the premium corner of the showroom, the corporation captures the difference. It is not necessarily selling you a fundamentally different appliance. It may be selling you a different story about the appliance. The value model is described as practical. The premium model is described as refined. One sits under flat fluorescent light with a paper sale tag. The other sits beneath warm lighting beside a staged bowl of lemons. But neither the lemons nor the lighting wash your clothes. So how do you catch the difference before the receipt prints? Start with the model number. Photograph the full model tag, not just the price card. The price card may shorten the number, omit a suffix, or use a retailer-specific version. But one letter can indicate a different finish, production run, feature package, or sales channel, so capture every character. Repeat the search for the sister brand model you are considering. Now compare the part numbers. If both machines use the same motor, pump, control board, door latch, heating element, or compressor family, you have found the hidden platform. This does not prove the machines are identical, but it reveals where their engineering overlaps. That is the clue the showroom rarely volunteers, because a $70 replacement pump does not care whether the logo above it says value, professional, or premium. Go one step further, compare the prices of the parts most likely to matter. A machine is not truly affordable if one common repair costs half its purchase price. Look at the control board, pump, latch, motor, ice maker, and user interface. Check whether those pieces are available individually or bundled into expensive assemblies. A $20 sensor is good news. A $350 sealed module containing that same sensor is not. Next, check where the model was assembled and when the design entered the market. Newly styled exterior can sit on engineering that has existed for years. That can be good because early problems may already be understood, but it can also mean you are paying launchier money for yesterday's bones. Now call an independent appliance technician. Not the salesperson, not the brand's social media account. Ask 2 direct questions. Which current platform do you see least often for major repairs? And which one has affordable available parts? Repair technicians do not live inside the advertisement. They live behind the kick plate. They notice the plastic clip that repeatedly snaps. They know which control board is always back-ordered. They remember the refrigerator that requires 2 hours of disassembly to replace a cheap fan. But they also know which supposedly basic machine keeps running because every common part is inexpensive and accessible. That information is worth more than a row of 5-star reviews written 3 days after delivery. Also ignore vague heritage language. A brand can say since 1893 without promising that the machine in front of you is built like the machine from 1963. Ownership changes. Factories close. Suppliers change. Metal becomes plastic. Mechanical timers become control boards. And a name that once described an engineering culture becomes a marketing asset inside a portfolio. That is the loss people feel but struggle to explain. The old machine had scratches, a faded dial, and one cycle that sounded like a tractor climbing a hill. But it kept working. The new machine glows blue, plays a cheerful melody, and may require a $300 board because moisture reached a connector. Now for the biggest reveal. Buying outside those 8 badges still may not buy independence. The appliance industry is dominated by a small group of global manufacturers, and private label store brands may also be produced by one of those giants. A retailer can sell an exclusive model number that looks impossible to compare, but the machine may still share its internal architecture with a familiar national brand. So a different logo is not proof of different engineering. Sometimes it is simply a different route to the same factory. That is why brand loyalty is no longer enough. Shop platform loyalty. Choose the simplest machine that performs the job you actually need. Compare complete model numbers, shared parts, repair prices, service access, and full warranty terms. Pay extra for durable construction, lower noise, better racks, effective insulation, or a proven feature you will use every week. But do not pay extra merely because a corporation placed its historic badge on the same basic machine and moved it beneath warmer showroom lighting. Those old names still mean something to us, but memory should not be used as a surcharge. Which appliance brand did your family trust, and does it still deserve that trust today? Share your experience below and subscribe if you want to keep decoding what the big manufacturers would rather leave behind the badge.